All right, hello everyone. Welcome to your Vinyasa practice. We're going to continue our journey around the hip joint. Today we're going to work on the front compartment of the hip joint. And when I say work on it, I mean always finding a balance between strength and length. So both flexing hip flexors and stretching hip flexors. I would like you to have a strap or something you can use like a strap, even if that means it's like a towel or a tie or a dog leash or something. Just set that off to the side of your mat. We're going to begin our practice in child's pose. So you can start to make your way there. And for whatever reason, child's pose isn't comfortable for you, feel free to just lay down on your back. You can always hug your knees into your chest and begin your practice that way. So if you're taking child's pose, option 2, just fold the hands underneath the forehead to give your spine just a little bit of support. And then start to breathe into the body or breathe more intentionally in and out through the nose. See if you can start to just notice how you're feeling today, what you're feeling, where you're feeling it. We'll take about 3 more breaths here to start to drop into our practice. One more big breath in, big breath out. And if your arms are not already there, start to reach your hands forward to the top of the mat. Press down into your hands, come forward into tabletop. Right away, let's extend the right leg back, spin the right foot flat, and then maybe kick the left foot off to the left side so that you have just like a little kickstand in your supported side plank. And then we're going to make this into supported Ardha Chandrasana, which is half moon pose. So right leg's at the back of the mat, that foot's planted, right arm's lifted, left knee, left hand are your base here. And then see if you can flex your right toes, start to float that right foot off of the mat. So half moon pose. And then see if you can start to draw your right knee towards your right elbow. So hip flexor strength here. And then inhale, extend the right leg back, right arm reaches up, and then bend the knee to the elbow. We'll do that 3 more times. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, bend the knee to the elbow. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, bend the knee to the elbow. One more time, big breath in. Tap that knee to the elbow, breath out. Come back to your tabletop shape. Let's set the hips back towards the heels, find child's pose. 3 breaths here. Big breath in. Big breath out. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. One last breath here. And let's come forward into tabletop shape. Okay, and we're going to extend that left leg back, spin that left foot flat, kick your right foot off to the right side just a little bit. Your right hand, your right knee are your base. You're extending that left arm up towards the ceiling. Okay, and then here, see if you can float that left foot off the mat, flex those left toes towards your face, and then you're going to see if you can bend your left knee towards your left elbow. Maybe they tap, maybe they're just reaching in that same direction. It's okay if they don't touch. On your inhale, extend the left leg back, reach that left arm high. On your exhale, bend elbow to knee. 3 more times. Inhale, extend the limbs. Exhale, bend the knee and the elbow. Inhale, extend. Exhale, bend the knee, elbow, and tap. One more time, big breath in. Exhale, bend the knee and tap. Extend everything back. Come back to your tabletop shape. One more time to child's pose. Child's pose, 3 breaths. In and out through the nose. 2 more breaths here. Let's inhale, come forward to tabletop shape. And right away, we'll start to move in and out of cat and cow, just continuing to articulate the spine. In and out of cat and cow. So if you're not familiar with cat cow for whatever reason, inhale breath typically happens as you draw the belly down, heart forward, tailbone lifts. That's your back bend. Exhale breath typically happens as you press the floor away, you tuck your chin in, you tuck your tailbone under, you're pressing your upper back towards the ceiling. 3 more rounds of cat and cow. Last 2 here. Last 1. All right, let's extend both legs back. So we're coming into our high plank pose. Come into high plank, pause here, breathe in, tuck the tailbone a little bit, press the floor away. See if you can feel that sensation of shoulder blades spreading away from the spine. So it's like you're broadening your upper back. Deep breath in here. And then lift your hips up and back, downward facing dog. Pause here, exhale. And then just start to breathe in and out through your nose. Breathing in and out through your nose. So that same thing we did on our hands and our knees, pulling that knee in towards the elbow, we're going to kind of do a variation of that in our high plank. So we're going to shift forward to high plank. And then we're going to flex that right hip, bending the right knee towards the right tricep. See if you can make that connection. And then send the right leg back into plank. And then stay on that right side 3 more times, right knee to right elbow, make that connection. Come back to high plank. Last 2 here, right knee to right elbow. Back to high plank. One more time on that side, right knee, right elbow, back to high plank. This time, step your right foot all the way forward through the hands. Let your left knee rest on the mat, and then just come up to a low lunge. Okay, so we're going to lift up out of the torso. If you were with me a couple of weeks ago, we did this, well, maybe it was like a month ago. We did this kind of like a runner's lunge in and out of our lunge. So we did this thing with our arms. So I'll just demonstrate. Let's shift forward and lower into the hips. At the same time, it's like you're reaching your left hand to the upper right-hand corner of your mat. So you're stretching with your left hand as you're moving your hips forward and down. And then you're backing up and your right arm's coming forward, like as if you were running, okay? So let's try that a couple times. As the hips move forward and down, your left arm reaches across towards the right side. As the hips shift back, your right arm comes forward. Reach forward, dip low into the hips, left arm reaches forward, move back, right arm comes forward. Twice more like that. Okay, so we're trying to get a little bit more length into our hip flexors. At the same time, we're using those muscles. So we're not passively stretching, we're using those muscles in our active range of motion. Good. All right. Left palm plants at the top of the mat, left palm plants. Right leg, extend it back into that half moon pose that we were doing at the very beginning of our practice. So the right leg is extended back, it's floating up in space. You're flexing your right toes towards your face, right arm's lifted. Bend that right knee towards right elbow. Twice more. One more time. Good. Let's come back to our high plank pose. High plank. Lift the hips, downward facing dog. You can always take child's pose instead of down dog. Or you could set your knees down and move through cat and cow a few rounds. Let's take a deep breath in here. Deep breath out. All of that is going to happen on the second side. So we'll shift forward, find that high plank. So a little bit tuck your tailbone slightly around your upper back. And then all you're going to do is pull that left knee forward towards the left elbow. See if you can connect and then come back to your high plank. So hips are not really moving much. You're flexing your front hip flexor, but your hips are not moving up and down, right? They're just staying stationary, same plane as you pull that left knee forward and then left foot back to high plank. One more time like that. Good. Now, left foot forward between the hands, right knee to the mat, find that low lunge, and then lift up through the torso. All right, so let's add on those arms. As we move the hips forward and down, right arm's gonna reach across. You're rotating through the spine here, and then back up, left arm's gonna come forward. Inhale, reach forward, forward, forward. Really reach with that right arm, and then pull the hips back. Left arm comes forward. Twice more like that. And then see if you can add your breath. Right arm's reaching forward, you're breathing in. Exhale, you're pulling back. One more time here. All right. Right palm's gonna plant at the top of the mat. Right foot spins off to the side like a little kickstand. Left leg comes back. Left foot floats up, toes flex towards the face, left arm's reaching high. Okay. And then you're pulling your left knee towards your left elbow. Re-extend. Left knee towards left elbow. Re-extend. Left knee towards left elbow. Re-extend. And then we'll meet in our high plank. High plank pose. From high plank, downward facing dog. Downward facing dog. 2 breaths here. 2 breaths in your down dog. And then we'll add on to our flow. 1 more breath in your down dog. Okay, so this time we'll shift forward, high plank, pause. Lengthen out through the whole spine. And then knees to the mat and come all the way to the belly. Bring your elbows forward underneath your shoulders so you're in Sphinx. Bend your right knee, see if you can reach back. Catch a hold of the outer or inner right ankle, whatever is most comfortable for your wrist and your shoulder. Deep breath in, kick your foot into your hand, and then turn your shoulder forward. So can you feel that across the front of the right hip flexor? Big breath in. Big breath out. Let's release that right elbow back down, and then we'll bend the left knee, squeeze that heel bone towards the glute, reaching back. Left hand holds either inner or outer ankle, really doesn't matter. What feels best on your shoulder. Kick the foot into the hand, turn that left chest forward, and can you start to feel that across that left hip flexor, which is the front of your hip. Let's take 1 more breath in, 1 more breath out, and then we'll release back to our Sphinx pose. Pause here, big breath in. And then exhale, walk those hands underneath the shoulders, press up, high plank, downward facing dog. 2 breaths, down dog. All right, shift forward, high plank. Here comes our knee, right knee to right elbow, and then back to plank. Twice more, right knee to right elbow, back to plank. 1 more time, right knee, right elbow, back to plank. Right foot steps forward, left knee to the mat. Lift up through the torso. Okay, so I'm going to give you a progression here. Have that strap, whatever you're going to use, close by. Tuck your back toes, lift your back knee. So find a high lunge and then bend that left knee a lot. This is going to be like the variation when you pull back in your hips. So when we reach forward, left arm's going to reach forward to the right side. You're going to lean forward with the torso, and then you're going to pull back with the hips. Keep that left knee bent. When you reach forward, straighten that left knee out. Left knee is your back knee, so don't get that confused. Right foot's forward, left foot's back. But I'm bending and straightening my left knee like I'm kind of hinging and on a rocking horse almost. Okay, 1 more time. Left thigh should be burning. Step forward, top of the mat. I'm just going to tilt my camera up so you can see what's coming next. So standing up at the top of the mat. All right. Probably a good idea to have wall space close by, even if that means you close a door. That's going to be your wall space. We're going to balance here on our right foot. We're going to take our strap. So first just balance on your right foot. And then take your strap, whatever you're using, and hook it over the top of the right foot. With the foot in the strap, pull the heel bone back towards the glute. So left knee is pointing down towards the floor.
And then turn your palm to face the ceiling, pressing your elbow in towards the rib cage. Okay, so elbow towards the rib cage, left palm up towards the ceiling, thumbs pointing backwards like you're hitchhiking backwards. All right, so here we go. We're gonna kick the foot into the strap and turn that left elbow to point up towards the ceiling. Still balancing on your right foot. Walls close by, you can always use that for counterbalance. If you're feeling good, you can reach back, right hand can hold the other end of the strap. Okay, so maybe you just stay here and work the balance. But if you feel like you have more to go and more to give, you're gonna kick, 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 left foot into that strap and start to lean forward in the chest. Lean forward in the chest, kick the foot into the strap, pull, pull, pull with your hands on the strap as you tip the upper body forward. And then slowly, slowly, slowly start to come out of that. Right hand releases, left hand releases. Set that strap off to the side. We'll move through a vinyasa flow, and then we'll do all of that on our second side. All right, so let's step back to our downward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Pause here, reset, connect. Feel the hands pressing down, pressing the floor away. Strong through the upper arm bones, strong through the palms of the hands. Relax the head here, let it hang heavy. 2 more breaths. All right, let's shift forward, high plank, high plank. Just the left knee is going to move forward towards that left elbow. We're going to do that 3 times. Okay, so keep your hips in the same plane. Bend your left knee, pull it forward towards the left elbow. Extend it back to plank. Twice more like that. Knee forward, back to plank. Knee forward, back to plank. Pause, breathe in. And then let's step that left foot forward between the hands. We're going to set the right knee down for just a moment. Lift up through the chest, so you're in your low lunge to start. Just get your bearings. Left foot's forward, right foot's back. We're just doing the second side. Now let's tuck those back toes, lift that back knee, and then deep bend in that right knee. So remember, it's kind of like a rocking horse hinge. When you pull the hips back, you're deeply bending into that right knee. Your right knee is your back leg, okay? When you're reaching forward, you're straightening out through the right leg, reaching with the right arm to the left side. Pull it back, bend that right knee. It's like you're hinging. Reach forward. It's like you're springing forward, okay? So bend the knee, pull back, reach forward, straighten out. Bend the knee, pull back, reach forward, straighten out. Those thigh muscles, glute muscles, everything's working here. You feel some burning muscles through the thighs. Good job. You're doing the hard work. One more time, reach forward. All right, then let's step forward, top of the mat. We'll locate our strap again. We're just going to do that on the second side. Second side. All right. So now you're balancing all the weight on your left foot. All the weight on your left foot. You're just going to loop up the right foot into the strap. Okay, so right foot into the strap. Keep your elbow, your tricep close. Start to turn the palm to face the ceiling. And then when you're ready, right elbow is going to point up towards the ceiling. So it's like my little right foot gets to rest in that strap for a moment while I get my bearings. Now really root into your left foot. If you have more space to go, more to give, first you're kicking your foot into your strap. So it's nice and strong. That leg is nice and strong. Okay, and then you're coming forward a little bit through the torso. And then you want to really challenge the balance. Left hand can grab the other end of the strap. So leaning forward, kicking the foot into the strap. Wherever you are, you don't have to be all the way here. But remember each step. So first step is to kick the foot into the strap. Second step is to start to lean forward. Third step is to grab that other end of the strap with your left hand. So both hands holding the strap. Wherever you are, 2 breaths. And then slowly making your way out. Release that right foot back to the mat. Let's come back to the top of the mat now. Set that strap off to the side. Yes, kitty. Kitty's here with us too. Setting that strap off to the side, come to the top of the mat. Deep breath in, reach up. And then on your exhale, let's forward fold. Inhale, find a halfway lift. Exhale, plant those hands, step back, high plank. High plank. Pause here, breathe in. Shift forward, breathing out, lower slowly all the way to the belly. Walk those elbows forward underneath the shoulders. We've done the work. Let's try for bow pose, Dhanurasana. Okay, so if you're still working one side at a time, great place to be. You can start off with that right knee bending, reaching back. Grab the inner or outer ankle. Both ways are valid. If you want to try both sides, bending that left knee, left hand finds the outer ankle or inner ankle. Once you've got a hold of one or both ankles, you're going to kick just like you did in that standing balance pose, kicking the feet into the hands. That's what's driving this back bend, is the strength of the legs. Okay, so you're not pulling with your arms, but you're really strongly kicking the feet into the hands or hand. And if you're doing one side at a time, switch sides. Go ahead, get ready. Second side. If you're still in this with me, see if you can take 2 more breaths. All right, and then everyone come out. Just lengthen out through the backs of the legs, stretch the legs back behind you. Stack those hands underneath the forehead. Pause here and breathe. And we'll do a counter stretch for the spine. Bring the hands underneath the shoulders. Press up to hands and knees. Hips all the way back to the heels, child's pose. Great counter stretch for the spine after all of that back bending. So really anytime you can think about hip flexors lengthening, anytime you're in a back bend, hip flexors are going to lengthen, or in other words, anatomically speaking, they are in extension. If you like anatomical terms, the action of the hip flexor in a back bend is extension. Same with the spine. Let's take 2 more breaths here in our child's pose. We're going to start to cool it down. And prepare for Shavasana here in just a few moments. One last little thing for those hip flexors. Let's come forward, tabletop, make our way all the way down onto the back. Go ahead, bend your knees and plant your feet. Lay down on your back, bend your knees and plant your feet. About hip width distance apart. Press down into your feet, lift your hips up. Walk your shoulders underneath your back. Option to interlace fingers to the webbing, pressing down through the pinky edges of the hands. You want to see about a little bit more hip now. Okay. Now we're still, remember what I said about back bends, hip extension here. So if you want to get a little bit more hip extension, here's an option. Pressing into the ball mounds of the feet, lift the heels, lift the pelvis just a little bit higher. So you're more on the tops of the shoulders and the triceps, ball mounds of the feet, heel bones are lifted. One more breath here. See if you can stay with me. Release the arms if you had that bind. Just release the arms, but keep the hips where they are. Heel bones are going to stay lifted. They're going to be the last thing to lower. Tuck your tailbone under. Start to release your upper back. Slow, slow, slow. Release your upper back first, then low back, then pelvis, and then tailbone. A few pelvic tilts here. Rock forward to the tip of the tailbone and then to the low back. Do that a few times. A few more times.
One more time, pelvic rock. Very good. Okay, let's hug the knees into the chest. Rock a little bit side to side. We're going to take a twist here on our back. I'm going to give you an option for a pretty deep twist. So if this doesn't work for your spine, don't feel bad. It's a pretty deep one. So eagle legs, right leg will cross all the way on top of left leg, like you're sitting cross-legged in a chair. Thighs squeezing together, knees are crossed. Again, right leg is on top of left. Then you're going to set your left foot down, scoot your hips off to the right. Knees are going to knock off to your left. Okay, so sometimes people call this twisted root. I like to think of eagle legs with a twist. If that's too much on your spine, your neck, your shoulders, whatever part of the spine, just unwrap the legs and let it be a very, very simple twist. Take about 3 breaths here. Nicely deep, slow belly breaths. Really slowly take your time. We'll start to unwind out of this shape. Uncross the legs, shift the hips back to center. And then left leg all the way on top of right leg if you're coming with me for this twisted root or eagle leg variation of our twist. Okay, so first get the crossing of the legs. Inner thighs are squeezing together. Knees are crossed. Your left leg is on top of your right leg. Set your right foot down. Move your right foot towards your left. Bump your hips towards your left. And then take your knees to your right. All right, pretty deep rotation here. It can be a lot. Don't feel bad if you need to unwind the legs. Whatever you're taking, breathe. Make sure you're breathing. See if you can continue to breathe in and out through the nose. See if we can take about 2 more breaths, nice and slow, in and out through the nose. Take your time. We're slowly going to unwind. Always recommend being gentle on your exits, especially in a big twist like that. Let's shift the hips back to the center of the mat. One more time, hug the knees and maybe take happy baby if you'd like. And then we'll set up for our final rest, our final Shavasana over the next few breath cycles whenever you're ready. Feel free to just stretch out through the legs, or you could take legs up the wall. You could also come to a seated meditation if you'd prefer. We'll take 1 minute here. Relax the shoulders down the back, slightly tilt the chin in towards the chest. Find a comfortable position to rest your arms. Take a deep breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. Shavasana. If you have the time to spare, please stay longer. Please feel free to ignore this next part. Just drift off to a peaceful Shavasana. If you need to move on, start to awaken the body, wiggle fingertips and toes, reaching the arms overhead, rolling off to a side. Pressing your way to an upright seat. Just take a moment here. See if you can sit up nice and tall. Deep breath in. Lean back a little bit. Deep breath out. And then joining hands together at the heart. Bowing the chin into the chest. Take a moment to honor your practice with reverence and gratitude to all of our teachers, past, present, future, to the teacher within your own heart. Namaste, yogis. Thank you so much for joining me today, everyone. I hope you enjoyed your practice. I hope you come back again soon. Please join me on Thursday for a restorative practice that will work with the hips as well.